I need to check it out right. Yes. So let's wait for. Yes, so let me start with the presentation first. And firstly, I'll be giving you a brief about what peer programming hub is, and then we'll cover the doubts at the end. So let's begin with the presentation. So today we are here firstly to present what peer programming hub is all about. So let's start with the presentation. Yes. So peer programming hub. First of all, I would like to give you all a disclaimer that Peer Programming Hub is a community which is not meant for people who are aiming to ace their coding interviews. Like, if you are in your third year or fourth year and you're thinking that, okay, in 40 days you'll just learn competitive programming and ace your coding interviews, then sorry, this is not the right place for you. This is the place only for the people who are very enthusiastic about competitive programming. So if you genuinely enjoy competitive programming, that's what we want, but not the people who want to ace their coding interviews, right? So now let's begin the main presentation. So our vision. What is the basic vision of a community? So it is let the streak burn. So what is this actually? So the theme behind the community is streak, which is very similar to the streak of the Snapchat. So you all must have, most of you would have been active on Snapchat, and the main feature of Snapchat is that you have your streak, and in order to maintain that streak, you just post things, right? So that is a consistency towards Snapchat. So that concept I try to inculcate within your day-to-day programming, right? So we have daily targets, and you have to accomplish them in order to maintain your streak. Once you're not able to accomplish those targets, your streak breaks, as similar to Snapchat, right? So this is what peer programming hub is all about. So now coming to the next slide, that is what is peer programming hub. Firstly, a community of competitive programmers. As I said in the very first slide, that it is a community that is meant only for the competitive programmers and not for people who are aiming to ace their coding interviews. Secondly, what matters the most is consistency. You have to be consistent. You must have seen many YouTube videos where people say that you just have to practice. You have to be consistent in order to ace competitive programming. So that is what we all are trying to build through this community. We have to be consistent towards coding, right? And the third and the most important point, that is this community conducts a game which has four levels. And most of you are curious about knowing what this game is all about and everything. So yeah, we'll be covering in the further slides. So rules of the game. So let's start with the four levels of the game. So initially, all of us are surgeons, right? So in order to become knights, you have to solve 5 problems each day for 10 days consecutively. For the game will be starting on 1st of May, right? So from 1st to 10th of May, you have to solve 5 problems each day in order to maintain your streak. In case you fail, your streak turns to zero directly, right? But if you are able to solve 5 problems every day for 10 days consecutively, then you move on to ninth level. Now, suppose you have become the knights. Now you have to become captains. In order to become captains, you have to solve 7 problems each day for 8 days consecutively now. So, sorry, 6 problems per day, right? So, in order to become captains, you have to solve 6 problems each day. And as similar to surgeons, in case your streak breaks, you'll have a streak of zero, but you'll still remain knights. So, what happens is कि जैसे सर्जेंस में क्या था कि अगर तुम्हारी स्ट्रीक टूटी तो यू कम टू जीरो ऑफ सर्जेंस नाउ फॉर नाइट्स इफ योर स्ट्रीक ब्रेक्स तो यू स्टार्ट विद जीरो स्ट्रीक एट नाइट्स लेवल तो अब तुम्हारी जीरो स्ट्रीक है एंड नाउ यू स्टार्ट एज अ नाइट यू हैव टू कोड 8 days consecutively in order to become captains but जीरो स्ट्रीक सीधा सर्जन से स्टार्ट होने वाली, नाइट्स के लेवल से जीरो से स्टार्ट होगी, ठीक है। तो नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द कैप्टन्स लेवल. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इन कैप्टन्स लेवल इज we'll be conducting a contest every day. Like third दिन there will be two contests and you can participate in any one of them. Community will be organizing those contests and तुम्हें जो भी slot suit करे just participate in that. And other than participating in that contest, you have to upsolve one problem. Now, what is this upsolving? Upsolving is like आप लोगों ने contest किया and contest के बाद बैठकर you have to solve one problem which you were not able to solve during the contest. So what happens is we all participate in contests, but learning is not just about participating in contests or solving problems. Competitive programming में learning तब आती है when you fail in a contest and you're not able to solve a problem और तुम contest के बाद बैठकर उस question को try करते हो. When you try that problem, that is the point where you learn your concepts. Otherwise, अगर तुम upsolve नहीं कर रहे तो तुम उसी अपने पुराने level पर maintain रहोगे. Even if you're giving contests, उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है because तुम contest के पहले जिस level पर थे और बाद में जिस level पे थे, it's exactly the same. So upsolving is very important. Captains or commanders level में we are trying to build those skills, right? So that is for this captains level. You have to give one contest and you have to solve minimum one problem every day for 8 days consecutively. Now coming on to commanders level, it's almost the same as the captains level, but you have to give one contest plus you have to solve two problems after the contest is done, right? So then if you survive these in all 38 days, it's like it's 40 days if we calculate the total days, and if you survive that you become the warlords, right? So moving on to the next point, that is the rules of the game. Final survivors become the warlords, right? So these are the main winners of the game, and these are the ones who survive the entire game, right? So the second rule is all Sundays are free. We have considered this fact that we all are college students and we all have work. So Sundays are free. You need not board or anything on Sundays, just chill, right? So the third point is if the streak falls, you pick up. If you break your streak, it falls to zero for each level. As I explained to sergeants, captains, knights, and commandos, it's exactly the same. That if the streak breaks, it goes to zero of each level respectively. It's not like कि zero हुई तो सीधा तुम zero h base से start करके नहीं. अगर knights के level पर हुई तो तुम knights के zero से start करोगे. तो captains हुई तो captains के zero streak से start करोगे, right? So that's the concept. उसके बाद जो fourth point है, that is if you participate in a live contest. Now, what happens is most of us are beginners, and in the previous season, I observed that many of the people are very scared of participating in a live contest. So this is you may call it as an offer deal, that if you are participating in a live contest, so suppose you have to solve 5 problems per day today. But if you're participating in a live contest, you'll just have to solve one problem, and 4 problems will be compensated through the live contest, right? Like for surgeons, if you're participating in a live contest, just participate in live contest and attempt one question, right? For knights level, you have to attempt a live contest and solve 2 problems. Similarly, it goes on. And yeah, you must be wondering how it happens for the captains and the commanders level. So for captains and commanders, what we have is that the days during which there's a live contest, the community won't be organizing any contest that day. You have to participate in the live contest at any cost in order to maintain your streak. Participate in the live contest and solve problems, and that will be calculated for your streak, right? So captains and commanders, for the captains and the commanders, it's mandatory to participate in the live contest, right? So this is the point, and there was one more point which I needed to clarify. That was okay. I'll just explain it while I'll be giving the demo of the game, right? So now this is the offer which I have put in for this season only. This was not a part of the previous season, but this is because many people demanded this rule, so I have inculcated it. So what happens is, what if your streak breaks, right? So there will be many situations. You have your college exams, so many situations are not so good around. So there may be many personal reasons. So I have considered that. And in case you break your streak turns to zero initially. But if you solve plus one problem, what plus one means is, suppose you're a surgeon, you have to solve 5 problems per day. But if you fail, you have to solve 6 problems per day for 3 days consecutively. And if you solve that, then you get your lost streak back. So, for example, if you failed on the fifth day, right? So, if you are solving 6 problems for sixth, seventh, and eighth day, then on ninth day you get your streak as 9 and not like 3 or 4, right? So that is what the rule is. So, but now suppose among those 3 days you fail, you are not able to solve 6 problems per day. So your streak turns to zero and you won't be getting another chance this time, right? So this chance is only valid once, and it won't be like you keep failing and your 3 days will be counting. No, it's valid only once, right? So yeah, let's move on to the next slide. That is prerequisites to be a part of this game. So these are even mentioned on the official website. So these are basic programming skills. You all need to know the basic programming skills. Then second is you need to have code forces profile. Yeah, so this is the point that many of you would be wondering, where are you supposed to solve problems, right? So that is code forces. The submissions are considered only for code forces website and no other website. Only code forces is being considered, right? And there's a reason. You must be wondering why other platforms are not being considered for this, why CodeShip is not there, or HackerRank or many other. This is because this is my personal observation, and I have seen people that there's a kind of a phobia in people about code forces. I don't know why, but people think that code forces is very difficult, and they'll be 3 star, 4 star followers on CodeShip, but they don't try going towards code forces. But if a person is on code forces, a person very easily moves on to CodeShip or HackerRank. So I just don't want people to restrict themselves to one side or two side. You should be comfortable with every platform, and that is why I chose code forces and code forces. That's it. You can't. I won't be. If you say to me on second or third day of the game that I made submissions on CodeShip, consider it. No, it's just code forces. Only code forces will be considered. Now, the third point which is necessary is you need to have basic knowledge about A2OJ ladders. I'm not saying that you need to have prior experience, you need to have worked with A2OJ ladders, but you need to know about it a little. I'll be giving you a demo as well right now, but just basic knowledge that what it is or how you need to work on it. That's it, right? So fourth point is stop profile. Now this is very important. Like you need to have a stop profile at any cost. And on stop profile, remember to connect your code forces ID. Many people have submitted their stop profile, but you might not have connected your code forces profile with it. Connect it, because your submissions will be retrieved there. That's the place from where I'll be knowing whether you have made submissions or not. Sorry, right? So connect your code forces profile with the stop profile, right? Now the fifth point, that is add coder profile. Add coder profile is needed because when you'll be participating in the live contest, so I need to detect that. And add coder I have added purposely because add coder conducts very amazing contests and they're really good. But for problem solving, it's just code forces. But for contests, you may go for code forces or add coder, any of these two things, right? So you need to have these profiles in order to participate in the game. Now, let's move on to the next slide. That is how we'll be working. Okay, so instead of showing it in the form of this slide, let me just present you a demo for this. But yeah, there are certain points in the slide that I need to explain. Firstly, in order to be a part of the game, you need to fill the registration form for the coming season, which is starting on 1st of May. Registrations are already over. But for the upcoming seasons, you need to make sure that you fill the registrations on time. I always give a reminder before the registration so that no one misses it. So just be careful for the registration because there are very limited seats, right? So that's one point. And the second is join the Telegram channel. Like this is an important point because not just first point is that you'll be getting your daily reports over there. If you're not on Telegram, you won't be knowing what's your streak or anything, right? So you need to join Telegram channel in order to get your reports. Secondly, Telegram is very important because the community over there is very interactive, and on some days you get stuck on some questions and your sheet might break because of that, right? But if you are there in the community, you will just put up the question there and you're always there to answer that, right? So just put up the question and we'll be answering that. And yet there's one point, many people were just doing this on the community. Don't post the correct code on the community channel. This is one rule which we mentioned in our previous season as well. That don't post the correct solution of a problem on the group. That's not allowed. Why is it not allowed? Because once we see the correct solution, we don't go towards any other approach, right? Instead of you're getting stuck on some problem and you're coding, just post that wrong solution. You know, when you post a wrong solution, there's a lot of learning. You get to know how to debug your code. Others are also working on your code. They are getting to know many approaches, and that's much more beneficial than posting a correct solution on the code, right? So try to post wrong solutions rather than right solutions on the group, right? So now let me give you the live demo. Just a minute. Yes. So this is how the E2OJ page looks like. So technically E2OJ does not exist anymore, right? So it has closed, but this is an extension which I will be posting on the Telegram group. So you may use this extension and you'll get E2OJ ladders there. Right. So here on the right, you get this option where there's the user, right? So here you may enter your user ID and just click on login and your user profile will come over here and it will detect which all submissions you have made and which all you haven't. So what this does is that once you click on this ladder option, right? So see, this page comes up like this, and here there are different problems which are sorted on the basis of your ratings and code courses. So suppose your rating is less than 1300, my rating is less than 1300. So I'll be just selecting this ladder. Now this page opens up, right? So initially, for most of you, the problems will all be white because you would have not made those submissions. But since I was a part of the first season, so I have completed this ladder, so it is all green. So when you'll be competing during this game, even your ladders, these ladders will get green for all of you because you'll be making these many submissions during the game. So what you have to do is you have to choose first 5 problems for the first day, right? So when you click on this, see here, what happens is the code courses page of this problem appears, right? So you have to firstly log into your code courses account. Here I have already logged in, right? So just log into your code courses account and make the submission, and only the accepted solutions will be considered. Make sure, right? Only the accepted solutions. Don't think that we will be making 5 wrong solutions and that will be considered. No, only 5 accepted solutions will be considered, right? So this is the first problem. Similarly, go back to the emoji page, click on the second question and solve it. So solve first 5 problems for the first day of the surgeon's level, then next 5 problems till 10th for the next day. This is the place where you will be solving problems from. Now, suppose your problems are done for the day, your job is not over. There's one step which is still left. What you have to do is you have to come to your stock profile, right? Log in. So you'll be getting an option to log in and move here to the profile page. Now, when the profile page appears, here you get a button which is blue in color, right? This one. So you have to click on this. Make sure you click on this. Otherwise, stock does not retrieve your solutions, and my system won't be able to detect your submissions, right? So I won't be detecting your submissions manually. It's a complete setup that will be detecting your submissions. So for this setup to detect your submissions, this step is mandatory. And make sure you click on this button before midnight, right? Because these retrieval takes 5 minutes. Stock takes 5 minutes to retrieve your submissions. And one more thing, that once you retrieve, then you'll be able to retrieve the submissions only after 2 hours. So this was a problem which was faced by many students of the previous season. they used to retrieve submissions at 11 p.m. and they used to make other submission at 11:30, and then they used to be like, we can't retrieve the submission. So what? So then I had to wait to actually evaluate their reports. But what you have to do is make sure you retrieve the submissions only when all the submissions are done, because otherwise you have to wait for 2 hours. If you want to see what I am talking about, see, when I click on this button, now you'll get a notification that your submissions will be updated in 5 minutes, right? Now, just a minute. Now, if I try to click on it again, what you get is that you can retrieve the submissions once in 2 hours. That is what you get exactly, right? So, just that's one warning I wanted to give you, that retrieve the submissions only when you are sure that you have completed all the submissions, so that they don't think that okay, एक सबमिशन के उसके बाद रिट्रीव किया, दूसरा क्या आपने रिट्रीव किया, नहीं, सारे सबमिशंस करो उसके बाद रिट्रीव करो, that is much better, right? So this is what was about stock. Now I am giving you a demo of how my setup will be retrieving your submissions, right? So here I have added just my user ID for the example case, right? So only my ID is there. So let me firstly show you how many submissions I have made on a certain date. Like let's consider here I have used 1st of March. Let me consider for 5th of March, right? Okay, let me consider for this. There are the accepted submissions. Let me consider for 5th of April, right? That would be easier. So let me just change the date. Right. So now I'll be evaluating the reports. Just a minute. See, so it says that my streak is 1 and the problem solved are 11 and the contests I have participated in are 39. So let's just cross check the submissions. Right. So postal submissions, if I check on 5th, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so 11 submissions are there, right? And if I check about the contests, I guess Stock has just yeah, it was saying that ratings are have been tracked back. So that is why it is not showing all the contests right now, but it is 39 contests, right? So it will be showing me the contests I have participated in. So right now it is not tracking any live contests. It is because it will be only tracking it when it's live, right? So live contests are not being tracked right now through the system, but the submissions will be tracked. Now suppose I do it for 6th of April. I don't know if I have made any submission on 6th of April, but let's just try it and see what's the streak, right? So yeah, streak turned to be 2 and the problems are 21. So I haven't solved 21 on the second day. It's like 11 problems for the first day and 10 problems for the second day. So yeah, these problems, you might be wondering like how come these many problems. It's because we were a part of the first season of the game, and there we were supposed to make 10 submissions per day. So that is why these many problems are there. and these many submissions are there. So let's just verify for 6th of April. Let's just see. Yes. Yes, so 6th is here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, where are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so 10 submissions are there for 6th of April, so it's working fine, right? So this is how the system works. So it will be tracking your submissions in the similar manner, but remember that you have to retrieve submissions in stock. So that's like the main step. Click on this button to retrieve the submissions, right? So yeah, this is one thing. Now let's just move on to the presentation again. So see, the presentation says the same thing. Firstly, that open the emoji and click on the ladders tab. Then select your ladder as per your purposes rating. I don't mean to say that everyone has to click on just 1300 on the ladder which is below 1300 rating. You may select any ladder which is as per your ratings, right? So select that ladder and start solving problems there. So that is why I always say that this program is not just meant for people who are beginners. You may be even a candidate master or anyone, but if you want to be consistent with your coding, you may just join the camp. It's meant only in order to build your consistency, right? So you may choose the ladder which is as per your rating and start solving the problems, right? So that is one thing. Then solve your daily tasks as per the levels. That is one thing. And fourth, this last point is update your stop profile. That is important point. Make sure you do that, right? Now, rules and regulations. So these are the rules and regulations of the community and you have to follow them. So first is complete daily tasks as per your level. So make sure you complete your daily tasks which are assigned to your respective level. Then second is never cheat or discuss during a live contest. This is the most important point. Anyone who is found discussing or cheating during a live contest will be just removed from the group without giving any further explanations. Right. So this is one thing. Third point is address everyone by their respective names. Don't address anyone by ma'am, sir, bhaiya, di, like nothing. Call the person by the name. That's one thing. And fourth point is respect every member of the community. You may be very good at coding, or some maybe many maybe beginners. You need to respect everyone. We all are coders, right? You need to respect this fact. We all are coders, and unless and until you respect others, you won't get respect, right? So just respect everyone, and that's one thing. And last point is follow the rules of the Telegram channel. Telegram channel already has a pinned message, right? So there I have mentioned all the rules very clearly, so follow them. So I have already presented the game demo. So if you have any questions, now you may ask them. I am free to answer all your questions. So if all your doubts, whatever you have about the game, about competitive programming, you may just put up in the comments and I will just answer. Yes, any doubts, like anything related to the rules of the game, anything you didn't get, you want to know why this is like this in the game, you will just ask it clearly, right? You may be very frank, and yeah, remember that you need to be honest throughout the game. There were many people in the first season of the game who stayed as surgeons, but still, like they gained much more than even the commanders or the captains of the final level, right? Because they were utilizing the community. The community, they were so active in the community. They were discussing, right? So they gained a lot more than just the people who became captains or commanders, right? So make sure you are interactive with the community. Put up your doubts. Ask people, right? So looking forward to accept the challenge to enhance. What language should I use? C++, Python, Since see, if you are starting with a language, you don't know any language before, then I would advise you to go for C++ because that's faster than any other language for competitive programming. But if you already know a language, then just move on with it. Don't try to change your language just for competitive programming. Be comfortable with your language and keep following that language. That will be okay, right? So, but if you are planning to start with the language, then I'll advise you to go for C++ because that is much more advanced. Right. So, any other doubts? I used to be calculate fast and now I'm keeping an effect code courses practicing. Yes, exactly. Like practice is very important in competitive programming, and if you're consistent, then you can do anything. But if you're not consistent, you need to take breaks. But those breaks need to be limited. You can't think of that I'm going for a break for a 1 week, and then I'll come back and I'll be the same person in competitive programming. No, if you would have pursued sports in your life ever, so you would know that running every day in the morning and practicing a marathon and then giving a break for a week and then coming back, you are not the same person. You have to literally restart your journey. You are not you won't be the same person you left a week before. You have to maintain that consistency in order to be good at competitive programming. So that's one thing. What to do? Just a minute. What to do in the hacking rounds after the contest. In the hacking rounds, what happens is that if you think that a person's code, you see a person's code, and if you think that the code might fail for certain test cases, then that's what is called as hacking. You hack the solution of a person. So that is what is called as hacking phase, right? So is it necessary to solve only the problems? No, it is not necessary to solve problems for you. No, nothing. It's just if people don't know how to solve problems or where they should refer to solving problems, then I have given you a platform that okay, you may use it to OJ ladders, but if you already have a problem set on code courses, provided it is on code courses, so you may just go for it and solve problems over there. So that's okay for me. I just want code courses submissions. Yeah. So next question is what is the plugin you use for A2OJ? I'll actually attach it on the Telegram channel. Even if you Google it, if you search on Google about A2OJ extension, so you will get that. So that is it. That is dynamic A2OJ extension something, right? So you will use that. The next question is what if we complete all problems in few days? No, that is not allowed. See, what I said in the very beginning is the game is meant to build a consistency. I don't care if you want to solve 10 problems a day, go solve it. But I want your 5 submissions per day to be there. Solve 5 problems each day, and if you want to solve more problems on a day, go for it. I don't have any issues. But solve those 5 problems or 6 problems per day, which are meant to be there. This is meant to build a consistency. I know otherwise what happens is you solve 10 problems one day, the other day you go to sleep, right? You won't be coding. I don't want that. I want you to be consistent. Right? So yeah. And what if we complete all problems in 2 days? And what if there are no problems left to practice? You are never too good that there's no problem left to practice. There are contests coming every day, and there are new problems going on every day. So I don't think there's anything called as problems are over. Problems are always there, right? So next question is what happens on Sundays? Like that day we'll be discarded completely. It's a completely day chill, like completely chill. I won't advise you to go and code that day, except if there's a Google Kickstart round because that's meant to be on Sundays. If it's there, then go and participate in it. Otherwise, on Sundays, just chill. Go watch your web series or go play. I won't say go play outside because it's not safe, but yeah, just do whatever you want to do. Sundays are free, and people who have their college assignments or anything, just go and complete them. So Sundays are free. They are not meant to be meant for working, right? So next question is, what if we have already solved ladders on A2J? Deepak, as I said earlier, you may solve other problems on code forces, like higher level problems or any problems. Even A2OJ has problems as per categories, right? So, for example, if you want to, if you are not able to solve the problems of div 2 on this, right? So, A2OJ even has that category. So, just go and start solving those problems. You get comfortable with div 2B problems much more when you solve those problems regularly, right? So, it's your choice which problems you choose. Ladders is just one thing, I think, because many people are very beginners and they don't know how to start with competitive programming. So that is one thing I have advised people to follow, because that is in kind of, that is progressing in kind of difficult in terms of difficulty. That is why I advise for A to Mochi ladders. Otherwise, it's not mandatory, right? So next question is, yes, code jam. Yeah, code jam is tomorrow. If anyone is interested in learning CP, follow. Okay, any other doubt? If there's any other doubt, you may just feel free to ask. Uh, anything else you want to know about the competitive programming, or anything you want to know, just put up in the comments. And if you don't have any doubts, you may leave, right? How to become a specialist. Just practice, I would say, and practice, be consistent, and just solve more and more contests. People usually don't participate in many contests. Participate in contests plus upsolve the questions. As I said in the presentation itself, that upsolving is very important. People just ignore it. I don't know why. Upsolving is like, what are you doing just by participating in a contest? You knew one concept before the contest. You knew that concept itself during the contest and even after the contest. But by contest, you learn a new concept only if you are solving a problem. You are not able to solve a problem during a contest. Solve it, you will learn a new concept. So, and yesterday itself, I was advising one of our community members that, start maintaining notes, not about the concepts you're learning, but after every contest. During every contest, you learn something, be it a soft skill or a technical skill. And we often forget that. We think that if our ratings are dropping, that means the contest was a bad contest, and if our ratings are increasing, it was a very amazing contest. But that's not so. Every contest is a learning, and you need to maintain notes about that. That okay, this was the contest. I was not able to solve the problem during this contest, but at the last moment I solved it. So that was a learning, because you should not give up even till the end during a contest. So that is what we learned during the contest. So just keep maintaining the notes, and whenever you feel low that okay, I have not done anything for the past month, just go through those notes and will feel motivated that okay, no, I have learned a lot during this month. So you'll be motivated. So that is how you should participate in contests. And yeah, in order to increase your rating, firstly you have to participate in contests, solve problems, and be consistent with your coding. These are the two things I would advise. Awesome session. Looking forward for the camp. Yeah, thank you. We have to solve 50 plus 60, where should we practice? We have to solve 50 plus 60. Okay. where should we practice remaining 10 problems? Uh, which remaining 10 problems? I'm not getting like which 10 problems are you talking about? Tilak, can you just clear this in the comments like which remaining 10 problems? Uh, I'm not clear with your question. We have got 100 problems with yes. See, A2OG has okay, I got your point. You are saying that there are 50 problems, then there are 60 these 10 extra problems. There are many ladders, right? There's one 1300 ladders, then there's another one which is about like 1400 or 1500. You may go for it. The problems there are easy as well. So uh, the initial problems of each ladders are very easy. So you may go for any ladder for solving problem, or you may even go for code courses. So that is one thing, right? So in captain, okay, just a minute. In captain and commander level, in which contests we have to participate, community will be organizing those contests. So what happens is that we have a community forces group. So once you become a captain, so that's kind of a privilege for you that you are welcome to that group. You become a part of that group, and every night we'll be giving two slots. For that, I'll be conducting a poll on the Telegram group. So whatever slots are convenient for you. So most probably the slots we have are 8 to 10 or 10 to 12, right? Because that's the time when most photos are active, right? So these are the two slots and you may participate in any of them and just go for it. And yeah, that is how you'll be participating in the contest and solve the problems, right? What if I'm unable to solve even basic questions? How will the community help me in that case? If you already answered this question and you know it. No, I haven't answered this question. See, if you are not able to solve basic problems, it's because you probably you have not got enough confidence in coding, or probably you have not been very consistent with the coding, and the community is meant for it. You know what happens is in our course season there were many people who were not even aware of how to work with code courses, right? And in the flow of the game, because for the game you don't remember whether you're working on code courses or you're using stocks or anything. You just have one thing in your head that you don't have to break your streak, and you don't consider what's the difficulty of the problem or anything. You just keep solving problems. So that's the main thing. You won't even realize when you solve problems. It just goes with the flow. So just enjoy it. I always say that enjoy it. Don't think that okay, it's a streak, I have to maintain it. Be honest. Enjoy everything. If you're facing any doubt, just put up on the community and we always answer it. Last time, what used to happen was from 10 to 12 at night. The community used to be so active because everyone used to be making submissions at that time. So people used to be asking questions that jaldi batao because otherwise streak would break. So you may just put up on the community and we'll answer the questions. So that is how it works. So it's nothing big. You just need to be consistent with your coding, and it just takes hardly 5 to 10 days to build up your confidence. So that's not a big deal, right? So and one more thing I was thinking I should be telling you, I just forgot. Okay, if I remember, I'll just tell you. Any other doubt? And yeah, this was the point I was missing, which I was saying that don't think that the game is starting from 1st of May. Think that it is starting from 30th of April midnight and start making your submissions from midnight itself. That helps a lot, like a lot. For me, it's like whenever the clock strikes 12, I start coding and I complete my targets. And the entire day I am free. I can do anything I want to. Otherwise, if you don't make submissions earlier, entire day you just keep thinking about the submissions that my streak will break or anything. Just make submissions as early as possible and you can chill the entire day because you've already completed your tasks, you have enjoyed it and everything, and at night you actually enjoy coding. So I advise you to complete your targets at night rather than rushing at 8 p.m. the other day and trying to complete your targets in those 4 hours. Like that's another level of adrenaline rush. So I would advise you to go for it, but it's your choice. Like you may do whatever you want to, but it's my advice that start coding from midnight itself, right? So what is these are quotations. These are quotations by Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. I will not be available from 6th May to 10th May. Shivam, your streak will break. Your streak will break. During those days, there's no bargaining in that thing. I have given an offer just for 1 day. Like, in case you miss 1 day, so you can get your streak back by solving +1 problem for 3 consecutive days. But for many days, I can't. Okay. What are the perks of this game? Perks. See, first of all, I'm not doing it for anyone. I'm not getting anything out of this game. It's just that I enjoy competitive programming, and that is why I'm conducting this. Right. So one thing I do is that I always assign certificates to the people who participate in the game. Basically, who are active in the game. It's not just that you just register and you'll be getting certificates. No, you have to solve problems in order to get eligible for the certificates. Right. So there are certificates. Other than that, you get a very good community where you can put up questions, discuss problems and everything, and you are like you get a good closure whether you should be pursuing competitive programming or not. This is one thing I'll say that yeah, this community has done for many people that people at least get this thing that whether competitive programming is meant for them or not because many people are confused about this fact itself that whether they like competitive programming or not, whether they should be pursuing competitive programming or not. They're like, okay, people are pursuing around me college, like there are good people in colleges, and all this is kind of a assumption in people that all good coders or competitive coders get good placements. So no, it's nothing like that. If you enjoy competitive programming, if you enjoy this game, then you will enjoy competitive programming. But if you are not enjoying this game, then I don't think you will be able to enjoy competitive programming because I have designed this game in such a way that you'll get the very feel of competitive programming. It's kind of a sport. So if you don't enjoy it, I don't think you'll be able to enjoy competitive programming. Right? So just think of this game as a test for yourself whether you enjoy competitive programming genuinely or are you just doing it because of kind of a peer pressure, right? Any other doubt? Okay, so let's just wind up the session. Thank you. It was an amazing session interacting with you all and hoping you all have a great fun in the coming session, in the coming season. And yeah, thank you all. So let's just end